Today's demonstration will be on the 576 Nook Plus board, which is this guy right here. Hopefully my camera will hold it together. It's been kind of flaking out on me lately, so please bear with me if you start seeing some weird stuff flickering on the screen or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to specifically kind of focus on how the keyboard controls the power and also selects a given ROM slot for like a game or a language. And there are 4 slots that can be chosen, and they are all on this guy right here. There's also the possibility for 2 different OSs. There's like a lower and upper bank. In this particular ROM, I've got the same OS, the stock OS, for an XEGS in both the lower and the upper part. So let's go ahead. I'm going to queue up respect QT here and have it load a file. And this will just kind of show you some of the automatic action of this whole thing. Okay, so we're currently in actually slot 1, which you have enabled by hitting ALT+1, and if the system wasn't powered up, it would have powered it up in that slot. And we have RAM, or not RAM, we have basic. Rev C is actually what's been burned into this EEPROM over here. So let's go ahead and we'll do Alt Tilde, and what that's going to be is no slot will actually be selected. So it's the same as like holding Option on an XL or an XC to disable basic when you want to boot the system up. And there's our little color map, okay? I don't know how good this is going to look on this camera, but hopefully not too bad. So like if you want to actually change to a different slot, you can do that at any time you want. You don't have to power down the system. You just go ahead and go Alt, and let's pick number 3 here. And I have the assembler editor cartridge is actually burned into the EEPROM for slot number 3. Or we can go slot number 2. In which case I have Altera Basic in that one. And finally, slot number 4. And we have the Star Raiders in that one. And to turn the system off, you go Alt-0. And while we're in an off state, let me just talk about one other little feature here. Okay, for some OSs, they've actually reversed the the relationship between Option and either enabling or disabling basic. For a cassette, you need to be able to hit Start or hold Start when you power up the system. So what I've kind of done here is these are mapped as the console keys. This first one is Help, this is Start, this is Select, this is Option, and this is Reset. So I've mapped the actual console keys, F2 through F4, so that if you just press one and release it, it gets latched. And only do that in the power off state. And then following that, you can go ahead and bring up a given language slot if you wish. Okay, so in this case, we're saying to go ahead and do a cassette boot under basic, the basic that's in the first slot. You could just as easily, let's go power down again. We could just easily have done that without any language whatsoever, just by bringing it up with the Tilde key instead. And the same thing will apply like with Select and Option. You can latch those in during the power off state, and then that will be held while you activate a given slot or power up the system. And let's say you accidentally hit Start and then you change your mind. You go like, well, I don't really want to boot with a cassette. And, actually that's what I would say, because I don't like using cassettes myself. But you can just hit Alt-0 again, and that'll clear the latch. Okay, so if I bring up basic once again, you'll see that it just loads straight into basic. it's not prompting for the cassette to be loaded. And if we want to kind of see where the status, well, no, let's wait for 1 second. Okay, now let's say we want to see what the extended memory on this is actually set to. There's actually two different modes. We have one is a copy shop mode, 256K extended, and we've also got a 512K Rambo mode. Of course, both of those in combination with the 64K of base RAM ends up giving you 320K versus 576K. So like, let's say we want to see what we got this thing configured as right now. We go ALT+X, and it tells us that the XRAM mode is right now equaling Rambo. But if we want to change that, all we got to do is go CTRL+ALT+X. Whoops, sorry about that. And if we go ALT+X once again, we'll see that we now changed it to copy shop mode. And whatever mode that I've set it to, it'll hold that. It's a non-volatile memory storage for that particular aspect. So I can power this down, I can unplug it, I can plug it back in. It's going to hold whatever the last change I made was for that. Now let's say I just want to see real quickly what everything's set to, what everything's configured to, because there are several different things that can be changed on this system. Well, we can just go Alt F2, and assuming that we're in some kind of an editor, it'll actually print out a listing with the current settings for everything. So if you look here, we got XRAM mode, copy shop. We're on ROM OS number 1. We're on ROM slot number 1. A few other things of interest. Screensaver is off. So that basically means that the attract mode has been deactivated. And our NumLock, which is, as you can see, is lit up over there. Its default is set up to be on. So when you power this thing up, it's gonna turn NumLock on. And that can be deactivated or activated, toggled in the same way that we toggle the the XRAM mode. Only in that case you would do CTRL+ALT+NumLock would actually toggle it. And if you want, of course, if you want to see where it's at, you go Alt+NumLock, and it just tells you that once again it's on. Go CTRL+ALT+NumLock again, it goes off, and Alt+NumLock displays that it is indeed off. And if I go ahead and I shut the system down and I bring it back up, you can see that NumLock is still off, and we can verify that, Alt+NumLock, and it certainly is. And one other thing I want to show you, let's go into, we'll use Tilde, and since I don't have any boot device on right now, it's going to go into the self-test mode. And you can see that we have a little bit of a black border on each side, left and right sides. And if you look down here, you'll see there's actually two LEDs on right now. The top one is power, and the bottom one shows you the condition of the VGATE chip. This does have a VGATE chip, which means that you can actually cut off the overscan, and when you do that, it gives you this type of a screen, which is very representative of what you would have seen, how much of the view you would have seen on your early 1980s TV set. And if you go Alt-V, this is the toggle for VGATE. You can turn off, which you also saw the LED go off here too. You can turn off that mode, and now you get the full overscan. So why would you want to do that? Why would you want to have overscan limited? Well, there's quite a few different games that actually there'll be like graphic garbage will show up over in those overscan areas. Some examples would be Joust, Drop Zone, Preppy, and there's probably tons more. So by basically enabling VGATE like that, you won't see that anymore, and you'll see the game the way it was meant to be seen. And I think that pretty much covers it. So thanks for watching. Bye.